Right now, in Jalisco, Mexico, construction crews are laying the foundation for something that has Washington, D.C. in absolute panic mode. BYD, a Chinese company you've probably never heard of, is about to build a massive automotive plant, $1.5 billion, 150,000 vehicles a year, and it's not just a factory, it's a backdoor. In just 18 months, the first electric vehicles will roll off those production lines, and they'll be so cheap, so efficient, that Detroit's biggest names just called it an existential threat. The US government is threatening tariffs, Mexico is caught in the middle, and the global auto industry is about to change forever. If you want to stay ahead of the biggest economic shifts happening right now, the ones that affect your wallet, your job market, and geopolitics, subscribe so you are the first to know when we break down the stories everyone's missing. Now, let's rewind. To understand why this Mexican factory terrifies Washington, we have to go back about 30 years. It started with one man, Wang Chuanfu. In 1995, he started making rechargeable batteries in a small workshop in Shenzhen. His early customers? Nokia, Motorola, major international corporations trusting this unknown Chinese company with critical battery technology. By the early 2000s, Wang realized something: batteries were just the beginning, the future was automotive. In 2003, he made a bold move. He bought Qinchuan, a failing state-owned Chinese automaker. Everyone thought he was insane, a battery maker buying a car company. But Wang had a vision: vertical integration, control the entire supply chain. Instead of trying to copy Detroit, they built something from scratch. In 2008, the company officially became BYD, Build Your Dreams, and made a wild bet. They would vertically integrate everything. They'd make their own batteries, their own semiconductors, their own motors, every single component. And that same year, something happened that changed everything. Warren Buffett invested $230 million in BYD. One of the world's greatest investors, betting on a Chinese company nobody had heard of. That vote of confidence was huge. Most automakers thought this was insane. You outsource to specialists. That's the playbook. That's how Ford, GM, Toyota have always worked. But BYD did it anyway. Fast forward to 2025, BYD just sold 4.6 million vehicles last year. They're now the world's largest automaker by volume, larger than Toyota, larger than Volkswagen, larger than Tesla. They did it by making cars that cost half as much as Tesla's and last just as long. How? Their Blade Battery 2.0 can go 621 miles on a single charge. It lasts 5,000 charge cycles, and it costs 30% less than anything coming out of Detroit, because they make it themselves. No middleman, no markup. Their cost structure is brutally efficient. A worker in Detroit costs between $30 and $50 an hour. In Mexico, the same worker costs $6 to $12 an hour. BYD's vertical integration gives them another 30% cost advantage over Toyota and GM combined. Then came 2024. The US slapped a 100% tariff on Chinese-made electric vehicles. It's called Section 301. Essentially, you can't sell Chinese EVs in America, full stop. BYD looked at that tariff wall and realized something. They could never crack the US market directly, not under these rules. So they did what Japanese automakers did in the 1980s. They decided to build factories outside China. In early 2025, BYD announced it was building a massive factory in Mexico, Jalisco specifically, a region in western Mexico with a growing automotive cluster. It was supposed to be quiet. It wasn't. The numbers tell you everything. $1.5 billion up front. That's not a test run, that's a full commitment. The plant will produce 150,000 vehicles per year, scalable to 300,000. Groundbreaking happened late 2025. First vehicles come mid to late 2027. What cars? The Shark, that's a plug-in hybrid pickup truck. The Songpro sedan, the Dolphin, their most popular model. The Seagull, multiple platforms, multiple segments. They're not making one niche product, they're building an entire portfolio. Why Jalisco? BYD evaluated 3 regions: Jalisco, Nuevo León, and Puebla. Jalisco won. The Mexican government offered something seductive: land grants, payroll tax exemptions for 5 years, expedited permitting. 10,000 plus permanent jobs. This was Mexico saying, "We're betting on you, please come here." But here's the core problem. USMCA, the free trade agreement between the US, Mexico, and Canada, has a rule. If a car is built in Mexico and 75% of its parts come from the USMCA region, it enters the United States tariff-free. That's not a loophole, that's a backdoor. A BYD Seagull built in Mexico, using batteries from that Mexican factory, using components from BYD's supply chain in Mexico, would technically qualify. And once it crosses the border, it enters America duty-free. The US government would have zero tariff protection. And the pricing? A BYD Seagull built in Mexico, estimated $12,000 to $15,000. A Chevy Bolt, $28,500. Tesla's next-generation model, estimated $25,000. You're looking at a car that costs half the price of its American competitor and works just as well. If BYD can legally build that in Mexico and ship it to America, that's not competition, that's conquest. This is where it gets political. On April 6, 2026, just days ago, 3 US senators published a joint statement. Senators Slotkin, Schumer, and Baldwin. Their message was stark. Inviting China's automakers to set up shop in Mexico would confer an insurmountable economic advantage and trigger a national security crisis. They're not exaggerating, a national security crisis. This is how seriously Washington takes this. Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, called BYD an existential threat. He didn't mince words. He knows what a $12,000 EV means for Ford's future. The Defense Department and Department of Commerce are also moving. In April 2026, the Commerce Department announced a connected vehicle ban targeting Chinese-made vehicles. Any car with Chinese software, Chinese sensors, Chinese chips that could transmit data back to China, banned. It's a security argument, but it's also protectionism dressed up as national security. Now here's the historical parallel that's keeping some analysts up at night. In the 1980s, Japanese automakers like Toyota and Honda faced voluntary export restraints, quotas limiting how many vehicles they could ship to America. Toyota responded by building the Georgetown, Kentucky plant. Honda built in Marysville, Ohio. They couldn't sell unlimited cars directly, so they built locally instead. Those factories didn't just survive, they thrived. Today, Toyota and Honda employ hundreds of thousands of Americans across multiple manufacturing campuses. Their investments became foundations of entire regional economies. Plants that started with a few thousand jobs grew to tens of thousands. By some estimates, Japanese automotive investment created over 100,000 American jobs over the following decades. The Trump and Biden administrations are watching this history and thinking, we can't let this happen with China. Japan was an economic competitor, but a strategic ally. China is different. The geopolitical temperature is completely different, so the response will be harsher, the protections will be tighter. The real action is happening in USMCA review. The US is pushing hard for something new, a country of ownership rule. If a Chinese company owns the factory, apply the 100% tariff regardless of where the car is assembled. It doesn't matter if it's built in Mexico. If BYD owns it, tax it like it's Chinese-made. This puts Mexico in an impossible position. Morgan Stanley said it perfectly. Mexico is the front line of the global EV war. Mexico's economy depends on the US. 80% of Mexico's exports go north. The US has already threatened to rescind Mexico's trade status. That threat hangs over every negotiation. So Mexico is caught between a $1.5 billion Chinese investment and the economic lifeline represented by American trade partnership. Meanwhile, BYD's Wang Chuanfu, the company's founder and CEO, said something revealing. We are not just exporting cars, we are exporting an industry chain. He's not talking about selling vehicles. He's talking about building a Chinese automotive ecosystem, batteries, semiconductors, supply chain, inside Mexico, inside the USMCA region. That's the threat Washington sees. Not just cheaper cars, a complete industry migration. Here's what analysts expect. Within months, BYD will announce that the Jalisco plant will only supply Latin America, not North America, not the US. It's a strategic retreat. They're walking back from the USMCA borderline to avoid US retaliation. But that's just the first move. BYD has factories already operating in Thailand, 150,000 vehicles per year, Brazil, 150,000, Hungary, 200,000 in trial production. Factories under construction in Turkey, 150,000, Indonesia, 150,000, and Mexico, 150,000 plus. That's roughly 950,000 units of overseas capacity today, with a goal to reach 1.5 million by 2027. BYD isn't trying to crack America, they're surrounding it. They're flooding every market but the one with the tariff wall, and eventually, American consumers will see BYD's cars everywhere. In Latin America, Europe, Asia, and the US will look like the protectionist outlier. But here's what matters. BYD is not stopping. Jalisco is one piece of a global strategy that's already built 4.6 million vehicles last year. They have the cost structure, the technology, the supply chain, and now the geography to eventually become the world's dominant automaker. And there's something else happening that policymakers need to grapple with: the reshaping of Latin America itself. When BYD floods markets like Mexico, Brazil, and Colombia with $12,000 to $15,000 electric vehicles, it doesn't just compete with Detroit, it transforms transportation affordability for developing economies. Right now, the average car in Latin America costs $40,000 to $60,000, out of reach for working-class families. A $12,000 fee that goes 500 miles and runs for 5,000 charge cycles. That changes everything. It's not just a car, it's economic mobility. It's grid power in regions without reliable electricity infrastructure. It's reducing air pollution in cities with severe smog problems. From an American perspective, that's market conquest. From a Latin American perspective, it might be the first time middle-class car ownership is actually achievable. BYD understands this. They're not just selling cars in Mexico and Brazil, they're positioning themselves as the solution to Latin America's transportation problem. And if they succeed, the entire region's auto sector, its supply chains, its jobs, its future, becomes dependent on Chinese technology. The only question is whether America will be part of BYD's future, or whether it will price itself out of its own transformation. This story is far from over. The USMCA review, the tariff battles, the Mexican negotiations, they're all happening right now, and they're going to reshape which cars you can afford and where global manufacturing goes next.